All right, Louie, we just got a cool tour, a food tour of Circa, the new resort coming up in about a week and a half. Super excited about that. We are talking with Derek Stevens, the owner, the big man on top at Circa. And one of the things that he really wanted to bring into his new resort was a fabulous 24/7 delicatessen. They have a shop that we actually got to see that we can show you pictures of later when we're allowed to. It's called Saginaw's Delicatessen, and it is an authentic Jewish delicatessen, which is super awesome. They're gonna have matzo ball soup and Reuben sandwiches and all that stuff that we love. So today in Pandemic Provisions, we are talking about our favorite sundos. Louie, if you want to start, go ahead.
Totally. I'm going to talk about the banh mi sandwich. Now, banh mi is actually not just the name of the sandwich, because the sandwich can have a variety of fillings. It's a veritable yin and yang of like hot and cold, grilled meat sometimes, cured meat sometimes, but and then the pickles, of course, the authentic Vietnamese pickles. And it was really designed to like leave eaters of the sandwich feeling fresh and healthy. But the name banh mi actually refers to the light and airy French bread that the sandwich is made with.
I did not know that. I love that information. And I love a delicious banh mi here in Vegas. I have one at Lee's Sandwiches. So
Lee's is a good old standby. There's a couple of places down in Chinatown that you can check out. There's Mr. Banh Mi, I believe. There's a couple of really good places that serve authentic banh mi here in Vegas. But Lee's is a great standby, and it's 24-hour standby at that.
Okay, love your Asian pick. I'm gonna go super all-American sandwich. And I have to, since we're in Las Vegas, I have to talk about the Bobby. It's actually trademarked. Quickly tell you about the Bobby. It is fresh roasted turkey, which they do in-house all the time. So it's beautiful and delicious, just like Thanksgiving. Speaking of Thanksgiving, there's stuffing in there and cranberry sauce on a beautiful, just regular, perfect baguette, white bread. It's so American. I can't eat it every day, obviously, because it's full of cranberry sauce and sugar. But I will tell you that I get like a hankering for one at least once a month, if not every couple of weeks, because it's just one of those things that makes you feel comforted because it's got all the stuff of Thanksgiving inside it. It's super popular here in Vegas. I will tell you the fun facts about Capriotti's. It's actually from Delaware. It started in 1976 in Delaware, which I was surprised about. But what I did find out, and the reason why it's so big in Las Vegas, is because it actually came here in 1993. And it was so popular here, and they expanded so quickly here in Las Vegas that they actually moved the headquarters to Las Vegas. And in 2007, they actually sold it to investors. And when they sold it, the buyers were 95% Las Vegas locals. Speaking of America's best, we are going to be talking with the mega bucks, mega awesome Derek Stevens, owner of the new Circa Resort.
Talking about his new golden baby.
Yeah. Louie, we are at the amazing Circa Las Vegas right now, just about a week or so before it opens. Super exciting. Of course, we are socially distanced. We're in different rooms, so don't worry. We're not wearing masks. We're safe. We are really excited today because we have the owner of Circa Las Vegas, Derek Stevens, as well as his beverage director, Sam Pulliam, with us today. How are you guys, gentlemen?
Great to be on with you guys.
I'm awesome. Super excited. Thank you for having me.
Awesome. Well, thank you for joining us. We're very excited. So we're about a little bit more than a week and a half away. How are you guys feeling? What's going on? Derek, for you, I know this is not your first time, but it is your first time with a casino of this magnitude building from the ground up. So it's got to be pretty exciting.
Yeah, it is real exciting. You know, I can't believe that this much time's gone by. It was August of 2015 when we purchased the Las Vegas club. So this is really more than a 5-year project. And yeah, I can't believe we're down to the last 10 days or so. So right now it's a combination of stress, excitement, anticipation, and a little bit of adrenaline running. So we're right there. I think everything's gonna come together for opening night, but right now it's a little touchy around these parts.
Of course. And Sam, you've got a lot going on for yourself. Tell us how you're doing in the beverage department. I know we saw some exciting things going on. You've got that amazing mega bar. You've got some cool things going on with Vegas, Vicky. You've got that really cool legacy club. Tell us a little bit about the beverage department.
Sure. Yeah, we've got a lot of exciting new concepts that we're working on. Mega bar is just fantastic. 165 feet long, world-class flair bartenders. These guys have competed internationally, and we've really been able to recruit a lot of top talent here in Vegas. And then, yeah, Vegas Vicky's, we're getting into the cocktail bar game. So we've got a nice seasonal menu there. Some top mixologists from around town are going to be headlining that venue. And then Legacy Club, really taking it a level above Vegas Vicky's and something that downtown really hasn't seen before. Just an exquisite rooftop mixology lounge with a panoramic view of the city, modern twists on classic cocktails up there, and just something that we're really excited to bring downtown because it hasn't had that in quite some time.
And Sam, did I hear something about like some sort of huge gold, this 10-foot display of gold?
Yeah, I'll let Derek touch on that one.
Yeah, please, Derek.
Yeah, we're gonna have a signature feature up at Legacy Club when we open at the end of the year, and we're gonna have 1,000 ounces of gold. We worked with one of the U.S. minting companies to provide us these 500 bars, 2 ounce pieces each for Legacy Club. So it'll give up people the closest opportunity to get to see this much gold in one display. And we're going to have a little counter because the value is going to be going up and down by the minute and everything like that. So it should be a pretty good photo op and a pretty nice centerpiece for the business and allow Sam and his team to make it home.
Over the top. We've got to talk about these dining establishments, of course, because we're two chefs and the podcast is about food. So we got to go to the food. Of course, there's a veritable plethora of dining spots here at the Circa. I can't even believe, it's so diverse. Let's kind of go down the line a little bit, Derek, and just generally first, what goes into picking dining establishments for a casino? Because I don't think a lot of people have to do that in their lives. So how do you choose? And obviously I see a lot of ode to Michigan going on, of course, because that's where you're from. Tell us how you choose something like that and how you kind of decide who you're going to put in your casino.
Yeah, or is there a formula? Because every casino has one Asian and a buffet,
and a sandwich place and
sandwich place. Is there a specific formula or is it pure inspiration?
Well, I think it's a little bit of like putting a jigsaw puzzle together. You got to think through who's your customer going to be, and then you also have to think through what offerings do you currently have. So we decided not to go with an Italian restaurant, and the reason for that is because at the D Las Vegas we have Joe Vicari's Andiamo Italian Steakhouse. So it's an Italian restaurant that's a steakhouse, and we thought that they do such a great job over there that we didn't want to bring in another Italian restaurant. And remember, for all the people that are in our Players Club, you can use your Players Club card at any one of the venues, at the Golden Gate, at the D, or at Circa. So we wanted to stay away from that. But then you have to have certain elements in the formula. You have to have a great steakhouse. And I spent a couple years trying to figure out who would be the right entrepreneurs for this, and really for me, which matches up with the whole overall brand and the strategy. I wanted to make sure that they were independently owned. I wanted to make sure the owners were not passive owners. I wanted owners that wanted to be on property all the time. So, if we take, for example, Barry's Downtown Prime as an example, you have Barry Day Cake, and we think we hit a home run with Barry and his team with Yassine and Marco and one of their investors, Donnie Rin. We thought this was going to be a great team, and we had the comfort level that they'd be able to execute really what we thought was going to be the signature steakhouse for Circa. Then from there, there were certain elements that I wanted to bring in. There's a fellow by the name of Paul Saginaw, who was the co-founder of Zingerman's out of Ann Arbor, Michigan. And when I asked him, I said, "Can you recreate the greatest deli in America, greatest Jewish deli in America?" I mean, he said, "Yeah, he could do it." I mean, and Zingerman's is so world renowned now at this point. I wanted to see if he'd be able to do it. He said he would, and so that was a key element to bring in the 24-hour restaurant. That was the deli, and well, each one of our restaurants. I don't know if you want me to keep going, but each one of our restaurants has this unique story and really unique characters and entrepreneurs that are behind the restaurants.
The overhang. What's the story behind that?
The overhang bar. Yeah, that's we built the world's largest sports book, and it's a multi-level, kind of a 3-level sports book, and at the top level, we have an area. It's kind of like you would say balcony seating or something like that, but it hangs over, physically overhangs the first and second floor of the sports book. So we called this the overhang. Now the area, it's got some video poker machines and things like that, but it has a real nice overhang. It's a great view. Right behind it is actually the overhang bar. So that's kind of our signature feature bar on the second floor of Circa.
Not to be confused with the hangover bar, which you'll certainly get if you visit the overhang bar.
Yeah, guaranteed.
It might get nicknamed, yeah.
Right.
I want to talk a little bit about this Project Barbecue because it's the first Carolina barbecue in Las Vegas. That seems pretty darn cool.
Yeah, the team from Project Barbecue, they took a concept and kind of ran with it. They took something, started with them purchasing a food truck, and like I said, the Circa project was basically a 5-year project from demolition and then to the build. And Project Barbecue was really the main food source for everybody that worked at Circa, and at points in time, we had upwards of maybe 1,200, 1,300 people working in a day. So they provided a lot of meals for everybody working on the project, as well as the tourists going up and down Fremont Street. So they turned something that was like kind of a hobby. These guys were all big barbecue guys, and they turned something from a hobby into a really great working business, and now we're kicking it up a notch because now it'll have a permanent location right on the frontage of Circa along Fremont Street, and there's tables out there, and you can reserve tables, and it's right next to the Circa bar, so it can do bottle service, and you get to see everything out on Fremont Street. So now they're kicking it up a notch again. We
just love the idea of Dan Coughlin opening a restaurant, his first restaurant inside a casino.
Yeah, it was great. I've been a big Louiie fan, so that's how I really got to meet Shauna, and then Dan. And when we started talking with them, I really wanted to do something that included someone from Fremont East, just because when I first came to Vegas in 2006, Fremont East wasn't there. So I just love what they did on Fremont East and the energy and the passion, and it's not like I had to look far because Louiie was clearly my favorite restaurant, and I hit it off pretty well with Dan, Shauna, and the crew that they run with. So I was very familiar with them. They'd stop by Long Bar many nights, and we had a lot of fun. We started talking about business. That was probably 3 or 4 years after we got to know each other, and yeah, I'm excited about it. When I threw it out to them, they went out and got a few other local investors, and I thought it was just really great to get some of the local guys involved in this. I wanted to make sure that Circa opened with a rather significant local presence, and they're going to do a great job with ADs.
Sam, tell us a little bit more about Vegas Vicky and how she got here, because that's pretty amazing as soon as you walk in. I know most people haven't seen it yet, but when you walk in, it's quite a presence, just even seeing the sign out there.
So Vegas Vicky looks great. She got quite the facelift. It's still 100% neon, which the purists will be excited about. But yeah, it's just a really elegant, beautiful bar. And kind of going along with being a fan of Latai myself, we decided to do a seasonal cocktail menu. And one of our cocktails at Vicky's is called Latai. And this is basically a liquid or a cocktail version of tom kha soup. So it's lemongrass vodka and ginger syrup and coconut milk and fresh lemon. Gives you all those Asian flavors, but it's really refreshing.
Wow.
Yeah, so, you know, we wanted to create a casual, not too uppity spot to come in and grab your first drink when you're checking into the hotel. Really, really elevated drinks. And we have a nice balance between light and refreshing, a little boozy if you're really trying to kickstart your night. But yeah, it's really exciting. It's a beautiful location. And then you have the escalators going down to Barry's right around it. So it's a great place to grab an after dinner drink.
And Derek, we're also need to ask you about Victory Burgers and Wings. So that is going to be your sports bar, or at least one of them.
This comes from the brother-sister combo that owns American Coney Island at the D. And, you know, they just celebrated their 100th year in business in Detroit.
Wow.
And they're third generation, and it's a 100-year business. So, you know, I knew them from Detroit, and now obviously I've known them for the time we've been actually working together since they came out to have their spot at the D. And, you know, they did such a great job with American Coney Island that when we talked about a sports bar, I talked to Chris Soteropoulos and Grace Karos. And I said, hey, would you guys have an interest in expanding? And we talked about it over a lot of nights at Long Bar, and they said, yeah, we love downtown Las Vegas. We'd love to do something with you. So we said, well, I really want to create you know, a really preeminent sports bar. And you got to focus in on burgers, you got to focus in on wings, and you got to focus in on milkshakes. And Chris said, well, with his background, even before going to American Coney Island, he says, this is great. So we spent about 1.5 years testing out various blends of the meats and things like that. And they did an awful lot of testing. So all the vice presidents and officers at the D were pretty happy about all these tests because we got fed pretty well over the last 1.5 years. Yeah, they came up with a great concept, and they've got a great location. It's up at the second floor at Circa, and it overlooks the entire sports book. So
I don't know anything that's going on in Las Vegas. A great place to find out is sitting at that Long Bar there, because you'll see Derek there. You'll see his buddies, Mike Palm, probably see my husband out there, Mitch, a bunch of people out there. And there's always like some sort of like hot dirt going on there. Like you always can find out like what's going on in downtown Las Vegas, get the deets on things. So that's just like a little hot secret tip. We need to talk to you about this stadium swim. Pretty amazing. What I've heard so far, 6 pools, 3 different levels, a 40-foot tall HG screen, Louie. Pretty insane. What crazy person came up with this idea, or crazy people, and like, how did this come about?
Yeah, I would say this is like a little combination of ideas that maybe started about 20 years ago when I started going to various pools in Las Vegas with my wife Nicole. And you know, it started, you know, every time we were just visiting. So it was maybe once every few months when I came out here, we tried a different pool. But then when things started getting serious after we invested in Las Vegas, then we really started checking out pools. And then we also started checking out pools outside of Las Vegas, and just starting to take notes. And we thought that if we were ever gonna build a big resort, I definitely wanted to focus in on the pool scene, because you know, Las Vegas is probably the best weather and the most sun of really any city in the continental United States. So we really wanted to focus in on that. And then the sports element coming in, now that sports is legal in so many states, we were trying to blend a couple of these concepts together. And that screen's a big deal. It's a 143-foot screen. And I think it's the biggest outdoor watch event. But really for us, the way we really started testing it was a few years ago at the downtown Las Vegas Event Center. We were doing watch parties for the NFL. We were doing watch parties for like the Golden Knights and for Raiders. We did soccer events. And we've been doing watch parties really for 4 years. And what we saw was that people that go out to watch parties, they're really coming out for a great time. It's a more social environment than if you're going to, let's say if you're going to a Golden Knights hockey game or something. This is a little bit different. In watch party events, it's more social. So we really wanted to focus in on the beverage component, getting people some food, and that really was allowed us to test for a few years what we were going to do with Stadium Swim. So we think that we had some enough experience under our belt to roll this one out. And boy, I was out there last night, and it's the Stadium Swim's a whopper. I think this is going to be a great destination for people from all over the country to come to Las Vegas, and then hopefully when they come down to Stadium Swim, they're going to stop in at one of our restaurants, one of our bars, maybe they'll hit a slot machine and have a little fun.
You're 21 plus only, and how's that going to work? Like, are there going to be people checking IDs at the door, or how? Because I think it's an interesting concept. For me, I love the idea of kids not running around a casino. No offense to anybody that has a family, but I love the idea of it being an adult place.
At Circa, there's a total of 3 entrances on the first floor and 1 on the second, which is the second is how you come in from Garage Mahal. So we only have a total of 4 entrances into Circa. And what we're going to do at the entrances is we are going to our ID people as they come in. And the purpose is because we wanted to create the first all 21 and over hotel casino. And for us in doing that, we're actually willing to give up a certain amount of hotel revenue by doing this, because if people come, like let's say with their teenager or something like that, they won't be able to stay with us. But we think giving up some of that potential hotel revenue is worth it for 2 reasons. First, psychologically, I think when people are out in Las Vegas, and obviously we have a lot of tourists, you don't necessarily want to see, a baby in a stroller at midnight, and you're here for 2 days. You're trying to get away from some of the regular things you would see at home. And, it's a lot of people come for birthdays, anniversaries, and things like that. So we thought it wasn't, from a psychological perspective, people would like to go to a place where maybe, if they're at Stadium Swim, they're not getting splashed in a pool by somebody else's kids. So it's not anything against kids. It's just simply sometimes it's important for adults to get away and have a little bit of fun. So that's the psychological element that we think is good for a customer. But here's the other element that's real important. On average, we think we're going to do at bars and at the table games, like currently at the D, we do about 7,600 ID checks per day. So you think about the impact. Let's just say you've got a bachelorette party. Let's say you've got 8 girls that walk up to Long Bar, and the bartender immediately, like Ivan, would have to say, I need to see all your IDs. On average, it takes 15 seconds per person to ID. So by the time you get this whole group together, and it takes them 2 minutes, he's got to verify all the IDs, and they might come out with a drink that's a really long drink. Like, I want eight Long Island iced teas. Well, it's going to take him 3 or 4 minutes to make that many. So all of a sudden, you've got a 6-minute window. And what about the group that came in behind and they just wanted to order 4 Coronas? And what about the other couple that came up when they wanted to order a glass of wine and Jack and Coke? So it kind of cascades itself. So what we think by doing the over 21, in this example, that group of eight people at the bachelorette party, they're going to get served right away. You're never going to have to ID at a bar. You're never going to have to ID when you walk up to a table game, because all of our dealers, all of our bartenders know that everyone inside will be over 21. And we think that'll give us an opportunity to provide extraordinary customer service. It's just going to make things quicker. It's going to be much easier on our dealers and bartenders. It frankly takes a little bit of liability off of us, because we know we're going to get people at the door. But really, we think it's going to enhance customer service and create a greater customer experience.
Absolutely.
Awesome.
Couldn't agree with you more.
Louie, it's time for show and tell, and it's you and me today. And you might see a little bit more of this in the future. In fact, you will see it. We're going to do more of these show and tell segments together outside the podcast. coming up very soon so that you'll get more content. So show and tell this week. I'm going to go first.
Sure.
I'm going to show you the wasabi grater. Oroshiki. I hope I'm pronouncing it correctly in Japanese. In professional restaurants, we call it a shark skin grater. This one is actually ceramic. I'll tell you why later, but the shark skin is actually the perfect material to grate wasabi, because what it does is it's very fine. It's sandpaper-like in the surface, which helps it, keep that delicate texture of your wasabi when you grate it. And the way that you do it is you just take your little wasabi grater, your shark skin, you peel your root, and then you just kind of rub it firmly in a circular motion, and then you just pull the wasabi right off it. Obviously, fresh wasabi is way better than the kind that you can get in the tube or in the powder.
Way
yeah,
better.
it's authentic, it's delicious, it's obviously, spicier, better flavor overall. Now, this one is ceramic for several reasons. One, the shark skin grater is not exactly extremely politically correct. Obviously, it works well. This is more animal friendly. It's ceramic, so I will tell you that I've had this now for about 8 years.
Whoa.
So it's much more durable than the shark skin grater. The shark skin one, the skin tends to come off. No matter how well you take care of it, it wears out. And then also they're around $40-50 for a nice shark skin grater. This is like $15.
Mhm.
So it's amazingly
Easier to clean too, perhaps.
yes, it's easier to clean, it's less expensive, and it's animal friendly.
Yeah.
Louie, what's yours?
My tool's not very animal friendly.
Okay, that's it's balance, right?
Ta-da! This is actually
okay.
a meat tenderizer and also
A meat torture device.
and also your pork skin pricker. So when you do those nice little pork skin roasts, you just prick the skin all over, and that will kind of like poke holes into the fat.
Yes.
So when you actually do a roast with like heat from the oven, it actually makes it self-basting, because the fat comes out of all the pores. And or if you fry it, because the oil can actually seep into the holes that you punctured.
Yes.
The skin turns like puffy, golden, delicious, crispy.
Yeah.
So this, I got this at Amazon, I believe, but this should be like available in the international market. But it's a pretty well-known and used tool. You can also use it to tenderize your meats and chicken and stuff like that. Just clean it very well. It looks very primitive, wooden handle and wooden nails inserted on it. I'm pretty sure that you can get similar devices on Amazon that have like safety latches and guards and stuff like that, but this one is the authentic one. Looks like a torture tool, but makes pork skin super crispy.
It's gorgeous. And of course, you can use a fork, just like it says in most home recipes, easily use a fork, but something like that is just going to do a better job. It's literally made for the purpose.
Exactly.
Which is why we show you these tools. All right, let's move on to On the Fly.
All right, On the Fly with Eric Stevens. Mr. Big at Circa, first place you grab a bite in Detroit.
First place to grab a bite, there's a little place called Olga's.
Fave thing to do in Las Vegas.
Hang at the end of Long Bar.
If you could have a superpower, what would it be?
Oh, know which way the stock market's going tomorrow.
Good one.
Best comfort food.
I love Kraft macaroni and cheese.
Dream place to travel and eat.
Hawaii.
Childhood food craving.
Oh, definitely spaghetti and meatballs.
Your feel-good music.
I love EDM. Give me a little Avicii.
Really? Whoa!
I just want to see Derek Stevens just like jumping up and down to like Tiesto or something. Favorite adult beverage.
Captain and Diet.
Okay, one more question, Derek Stevens. What haven't you done that you really want to do?
Well, this is G-rated. I can't say that.
It's not. It's actually NSFW. We are explicit, so you can say whatever you want.
Favorite thing I haven't done. Oh God. I would say the favorite thing I haven't done is open a casino the size of Circa.
Okay,
Sure.
Louie, go ahead and get ready with
All right, Sam. Let's do this. Your favorite pandemic snack?
Ooh, favorite pandemic snack. Let's go with Flamin' Hot Cheetos.
Your go-to cocktail?
Negroni for sure.
If you could have a superpower, what would it be?
No hangovers.
Awesome. Favorite beer?
Oh, favorite beer. Pacifico.
Dream place to travel and eat?
Mexico.
Where in Mexico?
Let's go with Cabo San Lucas.
Awesome. Childhood food craving?
My first word has to be shrimp and grits. Grits is my
Cool.
first word.
Awesome. Really? More than
Mhm.
mama? It was the first? Absolute
Grits
first?
was first.
That's awesome. Your favorite singer or band?
Led Zeppelin.
Your favorite thing to do in Vegas?
Hang out by the pool and enjoy a nice cocktail.
Okay, one blackmailable fact about Mr. Sam Pulliam.
Ooh.
You're in front of your boss right now, too.
Right? I know, right?
This is not good.
This is a tough one for Sam.
Blackmailable fact. We won't get into my my police record back in my fraternity days.
All right.
Nothing crazy. Nothing crazy.
Youthful indiscretion. That's okay. Youthful
Yeah.
indiscretions.
Yeah. Well, it is Vegas too.
Right?
Okay. Last thing, Derek Stevens. Let's go ahead. We're gonna sell it for the Circa Resort. It's your time.
This is the first casino opening in quite a while in Vegas, and I remember when casino openings happened when I was a tourist, and I would come out here, and I would never want to miss a casino opening. It's something new. It's something special. It's kind of like Christmas morning when you're a little kid. You know, you get that special feeling. So I hope everyone has a chance to go check out circalasvegas.com and check out our site and take a look at what the world's biggest sports book's going to look like, and take a look at Garage Mahal, and take a look at what Legacy Club's going to be, and take a look at Stadium Swim, and hopefully there's something on there that you want to book. And then once you do that, take a look at our restaurant selection, because the restaurants are going to treat you well over at Circa. I hope you come down and visit us. Sam and I will be there, so I'm sure of that. I don't even need to know the date. Sam and I will be there.
We want to thank you guys so much. And Derek, we want to thank you so much for really putting downtown Las Vegas on the map for us.
Right?
We love this city, and we're so excited for what you're doing here.
Hey, thanks a lot, guys. I'm really honored to be on the podcast, so thanks a lot.